Welcome to How to Identify Your Target Market and Set Your Business Up for Success. I'm so glad to be a part of BizFair this year and hope that you will get a lot out of this class as you continue to talk about the lean canvas and how marketing plays a role in that. We're going to cover many exciting topics, but the main objectives are going to be how to put marketing into your lean canvas, being able to identify your best potential customers and their common traits, as well as you're going to learn how to document and articulate your product or services, kind of like your elevator speech, as well as determine your unique value proposition. All of us have something to offer, whether you're just starting out and creating and starting your business. Maybe you've already launched it and you're looking for some oomph to kind of get it over that next step. Or maybe you've already even been in it in a couple of years and you just want to make a change and improve and increase your marketing. Well, we're going to help you do that in this workshop. My name is Mary Sullivan, and I'll be your presenter today. I am the co-founder of Sweet But Fearless, a podcast and a career consulting company that really helps frontline women leaders take on their next opportunity. I have some background, quite a bit of background actually, in business development, marketing, and leading sales teams, mostly in the financial services industry and across many different companies and geographies. So excited to be with you today. All right, so let's say you're thinking of starting a small business, or as I said earlier, maybe you've already started one. Unfortunately, you probably know the statistics. 30% of new businesses fail in the first 2 years, 50% in the first 5 years, and it gets worse thereafter. Well, we definitely know that you're on the right track to find the different topics and learning opportunities to help you ensure that you're not part of that statistic. We're going to be on the other side of that statistic. So what does it take to make a small business profitable? Well, the number one thing it does take is having a plan, a financial plan, a business plan, a legal plan, and a marketing plan. So what is marketing? Because we're going to focus on that one today. Well, the American Marketing Association defines it as an activity, a set of institutions and processes to help you create, communicate, deliver, and exchange offerings that have a value for your customers, your clients, and society at large. But for small businesses, there's another definition, and it is the development, promotion, and sales of profitable products that satisfy the customer needs. And we really do emphasize the word profitable because you can spend $1 million on a product, but if you only make $10,000, then it's not profitable. But you could also spend just a few thousand and make tens or even hundreds of thousands. And that's the goal, to really make your marketing plan profitable. Within marketing, we also develop new products, which could be product development. Maybe you're in that arena, creating a new product, or also we talk about promoting and advertising your product. That will be covered in another workshop in extensive, but we're going to talk a little bit about it today as well. So what are the 4 Ps of marketing? Maybe you've heard that in many of the career jargon conversations or some TED Talks. But the 4 Ps of marketing are price, promotion, placement, and product. And the benefit of your uniqueness, the marketing mix that you're going to be looking for in today's session, is what is the mix of those 4? How much emphasis are you willing to put on price? Are you going to compete in that category? Or are you going to compete in the promotional category? Like a lot of advertisement, a lot of social media promotions. Product. Is your product so unique that it is just going to outshine everybody else's? And placement. Like, where are you willing to place it? Are you online? Are you in a store? Are you both? Are you virtual, hybrid? That's how you mix up the 4 Ps. And that's what's going to make your uniqueness in marketing. So where does that fit in your marketing plan? Well, a marketing plan is a 4-part plan: product development plan, pricing plan, distribution plan, and promotional plan. Those are the 4 parts that make up an overall marketing plan. Now, when you have your lean canvas in front of you, you can see where these are going to start to play, and you're going to start filling them in as we go through this workshop. But your marketing plan is generally included in a formal business plan. And it's also highlighted, as we said, on your lean canvas. So let's talk about that lean canvas. And if you have it in front of you, great. Otherwise, you can take a snapshot of the screen and kind of work with it on your iPad, or if you're even in the room, you can write down your notes. But the marketing focus is highlighted in the color boxes. And what we're going to talk about is, where does the lean canvas kind of overlay with your marketing plan? And these are the 4 areas: the unique value proposition. And again, we're going to go into a lot of detail on this, but this is where we're going to go into that. Single, clear, compelling message that states why you are different and worth paying attention to. Like, why is someone going to listen to your podcast? Why is someone going to read your blog? Why is someone going to visit your website? What makes them connect to you? What is your unfair advantage? Something that cannot be easily copied or bought. A lot of times you think, well, I'm not the first one with this idea. Others have this idea. Well, you're probably not the first one with the idea, but there is something unique about your idea. And that's what we want to focus on, because no one else can copy your energy, your words, and your thoughts. Customer segments. This is where we're going to spend the majority of the time. And that's really focusing on, who are your target clients, listing them out. What behaviors do they have? What traits do they share? What problems are you trying to solve? Who are your early adopters? We call those your really, really core clients, the ones that are with you from the beginning, maybe even serve as a focus group for you. This is where we're going to fill out on your lean canvas, as well as any other worksheets you may have. So what is a target market? Well, a target market is your best client. These are the clients that have a lot in common, right? These are your potential purchasers, the ones that are going to buy from you and help make that profitable comment come true. Maybe they have similar needs, similar wants, or similar demands. Something that they have in common is what makes up this core group. It's a part of a bigger group. A lot of times people get nervous when they think target market. Am I going to exclude many others? Not at all. What we're saying with a target market is, this is where you're going to spend your time, your talent, and your treasure. We don't have endless funds to spend on advertising and promotion. So we really have to be very thoughtful and purposeful of where we spend our time and our money. And having a target market defined, well-defined, will help you do that. Who do you think are your best customers? Synonymous, target market. Who are your best customers? Repeat customers, the ones that are with you in the beginning, stay with you, and will be with you till the end. That is your target market. So why is it important? Well, I mentioned a few things. It's important to know because, again, we have a limit to our supply of our time, our talent, and our treasure. We just don't have everything in the world to give to everybody. And a lot of times when you try to serve everyone, you end up connecting with no one. But it's also a way to match up your offering to your customers. When you really know who that target market is, then you are better equipped to define your offering and to be very pinpointed, right? Boom, on where you're going to spend that money. You can approach promotions better when you have a target market. That means what you can do is spend it on the right ads. You know, you have choices between Facebook, Google, LinkedIn, and many other places to run ads. But again, we don't have an endless supply of dollars. So we need to be very pinpointed on who we're going to go after. Don't worry, all the others that you want to connect with, they'll follow you as well. And it's a good place to focus your resources, not only your money, but your time. We just don't have, we only have 24 hours in a day. That's it. You can carry some forward, that's it. But you have 24 hours in a day. So you have to use them wisely. And really focusing your resources on your target market gives you a chance to relate to your market, listen to your market, as well as understand if that is the right market, right? There might be some trial and error in this. So one thing is figuring out who your target market is, and we'll go through some exercises on that. The other thing is describing them, right? When others say to you, who are you serving? Who should do business with you? Who should I refer to you? You need to be able to articulate and describe who that target market is. So a good way to do that is by answering these few questions. Are your best potential customers alike in a shared problem, behavior, or preference? Do they have a similar marital status or income level or even occupation? And are they in the same geographic location? I know a lot of times we think, well, we're on the internet, so we are going to serve everybody. That is true. You may be able to, but who are you going to target and who are you going to market to? Maybe you do want to start with a specific geographical location. Maybe it's the greater Seattle area. Maybe it's the Northwest, Pacific Northwest. Maybe it's the West Coast, maybe, and on and on. But you really understanding where that is to start is really critical. Again, it doesn't mean you're leaving out others. You're just starting and targeting. So let's go through some of those examples I mentioned. Let's say we had a bathroom remodeling service. An example of a target market description could be homeowners in the Seattle area with houses older than 20 years. Now, notice they just didn't say anybody interested in remodeling a bathroom. That's usually where you start, right? Well, anyone. I can remodel bathrooms for anyone. Yes, we probably know you can, but where is your greatest skill? Your greatest skill in this case was Seattle area homes older than 20 years. So not wanting to focus on the newer homes that maybe had a poor installation, but really focusing on those homes that are older than 20 years. When someone is a potential buyer and they're reading that comment, they're reading that description, what you want them to say is, oh, that's me. They get it. Oh, they're talking to me. I connect with that. That's what we're looking for in marketing, a connection. Another example could be a tattoo service in Seattle for people with acrophobia. Well, that could be a lot of people, afraid of needles. So what do? You say, well, I want to work with people in the Seattle area with a fear of needles. So if you are targeting individuals that have had multiple tattoos, probably that's not in this case, right? This is probably for someone it's their first time, or maybe they've had another one and they've had a bad experience and they're afraid of needles for whatever reason. But you're really trying to talk to their emotion, which is another great skill for marketing, is to emotionally connect with your potential customers. That's when you've really reached, as we said, the other side of the bridge, right? You've crossed over. You've connected with someone emotionally, and now they're willing to spend their money with you. So let's recap a little bit of that. Defining your target market, your best potential customers, the best, the loyal. You can describe them with behavioral, how they interact, how they behave, demographics. Are they all women? Are they all men? Or geographical characteristics, greater Seattle area, maybe east side, west side, Pacific Northwest, mountainous areas, whatever it is for your product or service, thinking about how you can describe it with geography, with behavior, with demographics, helps you write that really, really good, unique value statement. You're also going to use this market description because this is how you're going to test your product design, right? You're going to test it out and you're going to test it with your target market since that's your key focus. It's also going to help you effectively promote and, again, focus your resources. We're going to say that a lot because with marketing, it's easy to keep chasing the shiny penny everywhere, right? Someone gives you really positive feedback on something you've done, and therefore you start putting more money in that area. But if that wasn't your target market, that's when you need to come back, look at your lean canvas and say, is this really part of my overall marketing plan and my overall business plan? So it helps us keep focused. So another discussion point is, why is the product or service uniqueness in your market important? Well, I know the obvious one may be to say, well, if I'm unique, then I'll be the first one. But it's not just about being the first. It's also about being true to yourself and really being authentic to knowing what are your strengths, what is your value, and what is your service or product offering that will help solve someone's problem. A lot of times you find what is your product or service and where did that come from with your story, right? So take a moment to ask yourself, where did your product or service idea come from? That really helps you tell your story and to choose words to use in your marketing that really describe your personal uniqueness, right? So maybe it came from a place, a service or a product where you personally had a problem, right? Where you had to overcome something in your life and you did. and you learned from it and you want to help others so they don't have to struggle the same way you did. Maybe that's where your service idea came from. Or maybe it came from someone else's problem, right? You were working in a company and you saw a common problem across all levels of entry level, let's say accountants, and you found something that they were all struggling with. Well, that's a great place. And knowing who they are and being able to describe and know where that idea came from really is good to use in the words as you're going to use in your marketing promotions. So make sure you understand where everything came from and why. Here's how we can apply that. So when you're in your lean canvas again, you focus in on describing the problem you're solving, describing your product or service, your solution, describing the unique value it provides. This is how you're pulling it all together, and you're defining your customer segments. Once you do that, then you determine the approximate cost, right? What is that cost for delivering that? And in some of the cases, you may have a tiered cost. You may have a service offering that is like bronze, gold, silver, or bronze, silver, gold, right? Where you have 3 different offerings. You could tier it, or maybe you only have one, or maybe you have one for online and one for in-person. But that's where you'll start thinking through once you know the problem you're solving, the product or service you're delivering on, the value, and who your customer segment is, then you can start overlaying the price to that. And then you also want to know what is the impact to sales and profitability. So it's not just about the price point, but it's also the price point end to end. It's one thing to say, well, the price is XYZ an hour of my time, but then what is the time you had to prepare for it? What is the time you spend on marketing? What is the time you spend on looking at the data and reinforcing all of those behaviors? All of that adds up into your pricing. So all of that is very important when you're putting together your marketing business case. When you have your marketing, you're also thinking, is this a good idea? I mean, my friend said it was a good idea. My family's supporting me, but is this really a good idea? Well, there are those informal methods that you first go to, right? You try it out on those we call in your trusted circle or in your advisory panel, right? Your focus groups, you definitely go to those. But you also want to try some of the more formal methods, which is a more like a focus group or sending out a survey and asking some of your early adopters for their feedback. Many times when you're just launching a new product or service, you may have what we call the slow launch, right? Or, the early launch where you're, or soft launch, right? All of those words could be used. Maybe 3 or 4 months where they're trying out your product or service and giving you feedback before you go out to the general public who won't be as forgiving as your family and friends are. So that's why it's very important to know for your marketing, your informal and your formal methods, and write them down. All of these are great opportunities to say, well, I've tried the taste testing for, maybe I'm trying coffee, roasting coffee. So you had some friends and family over and you roasted different beans and you said, give it a try. Let me know the acidity, the bitterness, the taste, was it hot enough? Whatever it is, you've had them try it out. But then you maybe also want to then do a more formal and try it out against others. Try it out against Starbucks, against Pete's Coffee, or any other chain or independent in order to see where you kind of stood, right? Where did you stack up against them? Or again, sending out a survey afterward. A lot of people kind of won't give you feedback face to face. So we use surveys a lot in marketing where they can anonymously tell you about your product or service, and you can really get that quality feedback. That's very important. But testing it is the most important. You have to test it, because that's going to make it better. These are some other ones. Yeah, I like the new product and recipes, right? Developed by the kitchen staff. Yeah, put me in front of the buffet and let me try out different things and give you a taste test. Always great ways. And it doesn't have to be only food. Any kind of service or any kind of product can be tested. A lot of times you may want to add it. Maybe you've already started your business and you're adding something new. So you add and test this out as a new product or service. I know in our business, Sweet but Fearless, we do that often. Maybe we have a new ebook or a new course. So we'll send it out to some of our early adopters, our more loyal email readers, right? Those that are following our podcast and say, can you try this out? Can you go through this course and let us know, did it make sense? Did it flow? Did it really serve its purpose? And then, of course, is it worth the cost that we put to it? Very, very important to test everything out. Also, not only testing, right, informa, but do your competitive analysis. It's very important to know who you are competing against. Part of marketing is really the intelligence of knowing what's going on in your area. It's very important for you to become knowledgeable about whatever product or service not only you're offering, but your competition is offering, so that you can answer those questions that others may have, such as, well, Mary, why would I choose Sweet but Fearless Career Consulting Firm over another one? Why would I buy someone's coffee from their roasting company versus another one? If you don't know what others are out there doing, then you can't really talk to that competition. So this is a nice analysis. And again, you can just print out anything anywhere or print this sheet when you get home. But what you want to do is really look at least 4 to 5 different companies that you feel are competition in your space for your product or service. Go to their websites, read their reviews, find out, all of their social media sites. Look and see, do they do different things on different social media sites? Do they have a subsidiary on another site? Kind of really get to know them and know them well. It's a compliment to know your competition, but also you may not have only one, right? So for example, you may look at one company and they have 3 things that you offer, but they don't have everything you offer. Well, look at another one that maybe has those other 2 or 3 categories and really go through line by line. Who can you compete with well in those different categories? So again, when individuals say to you, why would I buy your coffee beans, right? Your roasted coffee versus someone else's? You can speak to the fact that mine are organic, or I buy from local, right, in the United States, or I buy from Ethiopia, I buy from fair trade. Whatever it is, you have to know so that when they say, well, so does so-and-so, you have an answer to that, or you know at least how to prepare for that. Also, a competitive analysis and really understanding your competition helps you set the proper price point for yourself. And that's always the place that most of us stumble in marketing, or we just get so hesitant, like, should I charge that much? Or am I charging too much? Am I not charging enough? And you're constantly going back and forth. That's natural. But what you want to do is really know the most you can about your product and service, what your target market thinks of it, as well as your competition. So at least you give yourself a good head start in picking the right price point. You could always change it, but starting correctly gives you that leg up. It's also important whether you have a physical product packaging checklist, or you have a virtual one online, all of them need a checklist to go through to make sure if you have a package for your product, right, is it physically appealing? Is it appropriate for the size? Is it clear usage, right? Any safety instructions? All of this information, it's not just for physical. It can also be for online, right? Is your headline, right in the eye view of someone clicking onto your website? When they go to the mobile, does the most important thing show up when you're on your mobile app, or when they bring up your website on their mobile app? All of these things are applicable. And it's very important to have your checklist to make sure you know those things. Is it sized appropriately, right? Does it provide clear usage? Let's say you have a service. Are the instructions, right? The clear usage is also, are the instructions clear? How to go from one step to the next step to the next step. The most frustrating thing in marketing can be to go to someone's website you're all excited about and you just don't know where to go once you got there, right? You're clicking all around, you're getting lost, you're confused. That's not a good experience. And marketing is all about creating those connections and a good experience. And also, if you do have something that's so complicated, make sure you do take the time to put in the instructions. Don't assume everyone knows how to maneuver through your website, open up your packaging, and use your product like you do. You've been doing this probably for years. In some cases, maybe decades you've been thinking about it. Maybe they just started. So really make sure that you write the instructions clearly and it's very applicable to what they're going to need to do to get the most of your product or service. Now, I mentioned earlier pricing, and we're not going to go in total detail about it, but we are going to highlight, as I said, the different service packaging that you can offer, because that is a key part of your overall marketing. Maybe that's one of your differentiators. Maybe that's an area that makes you unique, is you have multiple pricing, right? Multiple service packaging. Maybe not. but just think through it. Packages need to be described, as we say, like products, with more expensive packages having additional or more valuable services. I love this chart because what you're really doing is listing every piece of value that you can offer to your clients. And then you're putting a check mark next to which ones you think are into the bronze, the silver, or the gold. Now, I've been taught in marketing that most will fall to the middle. If you offer three things, people pick the middle. So if you're looking at the law of averages in marketing, make sure your most connected one, the one you want to sell the most of, is in that silver area. Okay. Also, you can mix them back and forth. You can mix the packages. You can add hourly, especially when it comes to service. You can add add-ons, like if they've already bought a course or they already bought a product and they want to add on something that can maybe be a lower price. Many different ways to look through pricing. We're just sharing with you some of the ideas that will help you become more profitable in your marketing plan. So another recap time. Make sure your product or service is somehow unique in your market, right? Testing it out is the way to make it better. That will ensure you're getting the most out of your product and the best feedback. Feedback is a gift, especially in the marketing arena. The more you understand how your target market is using, liking or not liking your products or service, the better you can make it. And that's what your goal is to really get connected with your clients and to have them buy more and tell their friends to buy more. You want to finalize and document your product offerings. I know a lot of times in marketing, again, we can keep chasing that shiny penny, but at some point you need to stop, set that plan, and put it in place and move forward and get that feedback. Then if you need to adapt and change, you do so. But at some point you need to just stop and act. And definitely update that lean canvas with your ideas under the unique value proposition. Make sure you're filling that in. That's your one pager that you can go to every time you're asked, hey, would you like to do this? Hey, can I partner with you on this? Hey, here's an ad. Would you like to advertise here? Having that lean canvas one pager is a great place to go back to and say, you know what, that might be a great idea. Let's set up some time and talk more. Or it may be an emphatic no. It's not in my wheelhouse. It is not in my business plan. I'm going to pass on that right now. Maybe check back with me in 6 months or so. But that is very, very important. Now, when we talk about your unique value, we mentioned that was going to be one of the outcomes. The best way to describe your unique value is as a customer benefit. Because remember, it's not what they buy, it's what they receive and what they perceive they've received and how they value it. You may think you have the best product or service out there and you're just so excited. You're even thinking, I'm totally underselling it. It's worth so much more. And maybe you've tried to market it and you get crickets, right? No one's buying, or just your family and friends are buying, right? You're not getting new clients. Well, that's a good time to step back and say, am I really talking about my unique value from the customer's perspective and from the benefits they receive? Or am I really just trying to talk about the product itself? So let's go through an exercise that may help you differentiate that. So this example, what the customer is buying is a high efficiency household electric space heater, right? Everybody probably has one or two. All right, that's what they're buying. They're buying the space heater. But really what the benefits they value and what you're selling is that they're going to be warm, they're going to be comfortable, and it's going to save them money. So instead of turning on their overall heating, they could just do it with this very effective and efficient individual space heater. What you're selling is their warmth, how they're going to feel. You're not just selling the product. That's what's key here. Another example, a 1 hour personal massage, right? You can advertise massages here, 1 hour, $55 or $100. But those that will probably get more clients are advertising lowering stress, improving health. They're advertising things that people feel and that they can connect to. They're not just advertising a 1 hour item. They're advertising a feeling and a commitment to receiving that feeling. That's, when you're thinking of getting a massage, you're probably already dreaming of how you're going to feel at the end of it, or maybe even during, it feels great, needed and the muscles relaxing, but you're also thinking of how you're going to feel afterward. And that's what good marketing does. So let's talk about how that fits in the overall marketing structure. which we talked about earlier. You're building your marketing message, right? It's a ladder-ish, right? You're building upon it. You start with your value proposition. You're describing the benefits, and then you're talking about the features that support and create those benefits, right? So this is how it looks. Your value proposition. Going back to what is your unique value? Who are you serving? Why are you serving them? And what is it that they're going to receive? All of that creates that. And the benefits are the language of the buyer. Talking about benefits is key because it's their language. And it's really a good tip to kind of avoid the company jargon or things that you've learned, because again, you've been studying and researching probably your product or service for years, and you're very articulate in knowing the language of that product or service. The buyer may not be. So that's why it's critical to speak in their language. And then the features. That's where you can talk about the low cost and 55 minutes or less, and all of those are the features that support the benefit. So another good one is when you're creating, we'll give you an example because we like examples in these workshops. When you're building that marketing message, right, the customer facing value prop, which is very important, think of it in this way: describing the problem you're solving and how your product or service solves that problem. Remember on your lean canvas, we said, what problem are you solving? Expressing what your customer feels is the value, their benefits. And it's always good to have two. I usually have 4 or 5 benefits. And it should always be at the top of your web page. So if you go to anybody's website, right when they click on it, they should be able to see what is the value proposition and is this business for me? Is this business connecting with me? So make sure if you do have a website that those things are right at the top of the website, eyeline, right here, eyeline, so that anyone clicking on it can see and relate and say, yes, this is for me, and therefore start buying from you and learning more. Here's an example. Let's say your product was a consulting business or any kind of service. A way when you're talking about your unique value statement is, I will sell it to small companies in the greater Seattle area who do not have in-house learning. Okay? So you're looking at companies who do not have in-house learning. So automatically you're targeting and you're narrowing that down. And it provides them the unique value of value price, customizable, and on demand. That's where you feel you're going to differentiate yourself in this consulting business from others. Maybe not everybody you're competing with has on demand. Maybe not everybody you're competing with is customizable. It's like, hey, buy this package, that's it. I don't have the flexibility to offer others. This is a unique value statement. This is where you're showcasing the reason for them to connect and buy from you. Another one, let's say a restaurant, physical one, whether it's a restaurant or a product. They're going to sell it to vegans with allergies. Very specific group, love it. Vegans with allergies. If you don't have allergies and you're not vegan, this is not for you at this time. That doesn't mean you may not reach out and say, I'm a vegan, but I don't have allergies. And maybe the business can help you. But where they're going to target, where they're going to spend their money and their time is vegans with allergies and within 25 miles of Bothell. Now, you may think, oh my gosh, that's so narrow. I'm leaving out all the other vegans with allergies that are outside of it. They'll find you. They'll find you. But where you're going to spend your money and your advertising is within the 25 miles of Bothell. And the unique value is it increases options for enjoying a meal without worry, and it's tasty. How many times, I'm sure many people with allergies are very nervous going out to eat. They're very cautious and they tend to just order very bland because they don't want any mix-up, right? They don't want any chance of something happening. Well, if you're going to a place that specializes in it, just think of the fact that you can just enjoy it, relax, enjoy all the taste, and just know you're being catered to. A very good, unique value statement. So these are a couple of examples as you're writing your own, how you can create that. Now, a way to support your value statement is, it's really easy for us as business owners to say, we're great, this product's great, this service is great, you're really going to benefit from it. But it's even more important to have someone else say it, someone else that's gone through your program, someone else that's bought your product, utilized your service. That's called a testimonial. Anytime that you can get testimonials or videos from someone who has engaged with you and has something positive to say, do it. Many people will send you an email, I hope, or post on your social media. I really enjoyed this interaction with you, and send you a compliment. Feel free to ask them, would you mind taping that? Or could I tape you saying that? Or is there any way I can use your quote on my website or in my social media? I'd really like to share that with a larger audience. 9 out of 10 are going to say, of course, and be happy to do that. So it's a great way to add to your marketing, is the reinforcement of others complimenting you. Another thing is any awards and certifications you may have received. Many of you are credentialized in the area. You have expertise in what you're doing. Well, make sure you talk about that, whether it's via awards, certifications, degrees, however it is, make sure you're using it. As well as pictures. Everybody loves pictures. A friend of mine just published a cookbook and the pictures were amazing. I didn't even look at the recipes as much as the pictures. And I just thought, I want to eat that. I want to cook that. I want to enjoy that. Pictures can really, really improve your marketing and your sales. And as we said, short videos. A lot of people don't want to digest 30, 40 minutes at a time. So another good school of thought is on your website or social media, keep your videos to 3 to 5 minutes. It's kind of the attention span these days. We talked about earlier when we said, what is marketing for small business? Our goal is to make a sale, right? We want to be profitable. And in order to do that, you really have to have a strong value proposition that we just talked about. You have to know who your target market is, and you have to really be able to articulate the benefits and features so that they are front of mind for the customers. You're wanting to create that vision for them in order to make the sale. We call that helping them cross the bridge from understanding what you do or what you've created to how that can benefit them to now buying it, right? So the next step is, okay, now I'm going to order that product or service. Marketing services is to make the sale. Don't forget about that part. You have to pay the bills. It's important. And you certainly don't want to be part of the percentage that hasn't, right, survived. All right. All of that together creates your marketing funnel. This is everything together. When you're marketing, the first thing you do is creating awareness, right? Whether it's your website, whether it's your unique value proposition, talking about yourself. If someone asks you for introduction, says, what do? You describe yourself. It's all about learning about your brand. That's usually the largest bucket. And this is when we all talk about marketing funnel, what we mean. So the largest part of the bucket is awareness. So a lot of times people spend money on ads, whether it's Facebook, LinkedIn, or Google, in order to create awareness of your brand. So when people hear the name of your company, it's synonymous with you. Okay, I've heard that. I'm familiar with it. The next level of that is creating interest, right? People are going to start having an opinion about your brand. We call that suspects, where they have an interest in you. This is where some are going to go forward and some go out, right? Some say, no, that's not for me. But those that stay in are now on that next level. They're starting to get more engaged. They're like, I have an interest. I think I really want to do business with this individual or this company. So let me keep moving forward. Then you're creating a desire. These are your prospects. These are the ones that you're going to be working and working and working. We call it in sales, dripping on them. In marketing, you're going to keep offering them things, connecting with them, telling stories, asking questions, getting them involved and engaged with you in order to have them take an action. That's the ultimate goal, is to take an action. That's the purchase or a repurchase, right? Maybe continuously signing up for something. Maybe you have a membership or a repeat buy on a product you're selling and you're putting that on repeat. This is all what you're trying to create. Try to create the awareness of your brand, who you are, right? That's your target market. You're getting to know them. Then creating an interest more about that, having an attitude about that, saying, I really like that, or that really moves me, or that engages me. And then a desire to want and need your brand. Okay, I need to buy that coffee. Now I'm doing it. Now I'm making that move. I'm ordering it, and I'm putting it on a monthly purchase because I like it that much. This is the whole marketing funnel, but it starts with you really understanding your target market audience, who is in play, who are you really focusing on and wanting to go deeper and deeper, not only getting to know, but to create better products and services for them. That's your target market audience. So I want to thank you so much. Thank you. And I want to say, be fearless with your plan. Really practice how your marketing plan fits into your overall business plan with your legal, your financial, right? All of your plan and understanding where marketing has a spot, right? Not only on your lean canvas, but where it has a spot in your budget and where you're going to spend your dollars promoting after you determine who your target market is. As I said, I thank you so much for joining me today. My name is Mary Sullivan, co-founder of Sweet But Fearless, and I just wish you the best of luck.